Welcome to this week's episode of Talk of the Town. My name is Philip Swicegood, and I am back with my good friend and co-host, Dr. Kenneth Harper from Vein Specialist of the South. Now, if you have questions about your veins, maybe you saw a new vein pop up and you just want to get some answers, give Dr. Harper and my friends at Vein Specialist of the South a call, and they'll get you the answers that you deserve. Now, we also want to thank our presenting sponsor this week, which is Piedmont Macon. Piedmont provides comprehensive quality health care for all of your medical needs. Thanks so much to Piedmont Macon for making a show like this possible. Now, if you're just waking up on Saturday morning, you have that first cup of coffee, and you're wondering, what in the world is Talk of the Town? Here's what you can expect week in and week out here on 13 WMAZ, a conversation between me, Dr. Harper, and someone in the community that you need to know about. This week is no exception because we are here with Rebecca Snyder, who is the Executive Director of Visit Milledgeville. Rebecca, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Philip. Appreciate it.
So, Rebecca, I want to get right down to it. You're here in Milledgeville. We have a massive audience that is all across Central Georgia. Why should someone come visit Milledgeville, Georgia?
Oh, Milledgeville is such a unique and charming community. We've got a lot to offer, and I know we're going to kind of dive deeper into that together today.
That's fantastic.
So, there are things that attract folks to come, and we talked a little bit about that. One of them is lake country.
Yeah.
I think you already went fishing today, didn't you?
Yeah, you guys might not know that I went fishing today, but they can smell me because they definitely know that I went fishing today.
That means you caught something.
I caught a lot. Fishing up here is incredible. It is one of my favorite lakes to go to in the state of Georgia. I fish across the southeast, and Sinclair is great. It's 417 miles of shoreline, 15,000 acres. It has rocks, docks, grass, a lot of depth points. It has basically any type of fishing that you want to fish, whether it's catfish, bass, brim, crappie, whatever it might be. The fishing here is just unbelievable, and especially right now.
I think we hit a sweet spot.
You did, that's right.
so.
This ought to be a fishing show.
But there are festivals. A lot of times people want to know what the community festivals are. Share a little bit about the Deep Roots Festival. Did I get that right?
Yes, you
Right.
did. You got that right. So Deep Roots is our most iconic festival here in Milledgeville.
Did it have another name before that
Yes.
people might know?
So it originally launched over 20 years ago as the Sweetwater Festival. It's now called the Deep Roots Festival, and last year it welcomed more than 34,000 people into our community. It's a great day. It's very music driven. So we have headliners that come for the festival, as well as a community stage, lots of arts and crafts, steak cook-off, lots of different fun activities for the family.
Do you know the dates this year?
We do. It's going to be Saturday, October 19th this year, and you can find more information about it on the Facebook page, Deep Roots Festival.
So who's the headliner going to be this year?
We don't know. You've got to follow the Deep Roots
Okay.
Festival.
That's a teaser right there from
That's
you,
right.
right? A lot of our fans love the music festivals, so you might want to put that on your calendar. So other festivals that come along during the year?
Yes, so actually, as we come upon the summer season, one of the things that is really popular in this community, we have a fantastic fireworks show. So whether you see our city fireworks show or whether you get out on Lake Sinclair and out on that lake water, we have wonderful fireworks that are shot from multiple locations, and that's a real popular favorite. As we transition to the Christmas season, I know it's so hard to think about, but Christmas will be right here before we know it. We have great activities that happen during that season as well. One thing that launched is called Lockerly and Lights, which is a drive-through Christmas lights display. It's also a walking display. And then we also have a beautiful event called Christmas at the Mansion, which happens at Georgia's Old Governor's Mansion. So that's a really lovely opportunity as well.
Right.
Now we're going to ask you a little bit about the history of Milledgeville and the Governor's Mansion, because this actually used to be the capital of Georgia. But first, we have to take a quick break and hear a word from our sponsor.
As a teacher, I'm on my feet almost all day and enjoy running and hiking in my spare time. Standing in the classroom all day, the fatigue and swelling in my legs became increasingly more painful over time. Compression socks and good work shoes didn't even make a difference. I noticed that a large blue vein developed on my leg, which swelled and became really painful, making it difficult to work or participate in activities I enjoy. I'm glad I sought treatment at VSS before my vein issues progressed and got worse. They saw me quickly and were extremely professional, kind, and welcoming, which made me feel right at home. The staff explained my diagnosis and procedures in easy-to-understand terms and guided me through the entire process, which calmed my nerves. I understand they even have a therapy dog now for people like me. Since the procedure, I have been able to enjoy my life and activities again. It changed everything. If you need vein care, I encourage you to call Vein Specialist of the South today.
Piedmont Macon is proud to be your partner in healthcare, in business and in the community. From our 2 convenient hospitals and ERs, our cardiac program, women's services, and urgent care centers, we provide Middle Georgians with comprehensive care close to home. Our goal is to empower you through great care that's simplified, unified, and easier than ever to access. Our mission is to make a positive difference in every life we touch. We want to be part of your family and your life and to make our community a better place to live.
We have a brand new segment we are going to be bringing you each and every week called the Medical Minute. And it's going to be me asking Dr. Harper a medical question that you guys have submitted. This week's Medical Minute question for Dr. Harper is, Dr. Harper, what are the symptoms of vein disease?
Thanks for that question, Phillips. The most common symptoms of vein disease are heaviness, aching, burning, stingy, itching, maybe swelling in your legs, night cramps, restless leg. These can all be symptoms of underlying vein disease. It may be easy if you can look at your leg and see, well, I got a bulging vein or spider veins or leg swelling. That's a sign maybe. But the symptoms are classic for heavy, achy legs that tend to be worse when you're on your feet a lot, get better if you get off your feet. And so that can give people an idea, do I need to come have my legs checked?
If you're experiencing any of these symptoms, give my friends at Vein Specialists of the South a call and they'll get you the answers that you need. All right, welcome back. We're here with Rebecca Snyder, the Executive Director of Visit Milledgeville. Rebecca, we all know that Milledgeville used to be the capital of Georgia. Why in the world was Milledgeville, Georgia the capital? And then what happened? Why isn't it the capital anymore?
Sure. So Milledgeville actually was one of 5 Georgia state capitals. Milledgeville was the last capital of Georgia prior to its transition to Atlanta. Milledgeville was capital from 1803 all the way until 1868. So following the American Civil War, the capital transitioned to Atlanta during the period of Reconstruction. When we think about Georgia history, Georgia was very much a frontier community, and as expansion transferred further and further west, it made sense for Milledgeville to be capital because we were right along the Oconee River, which was a great transportation thoroughfare. We were central in the state. But following the Civil War, it made sense for the capital to transition to Atlanta. So we still do have that accolade today, and we've got some great historic properties that visitors can come and see in this community because of that period of our history.
So where the Capitol meeting hall, where was that? And is it still exists today?
Yes, it does. So the Capitol building was built on State House Square, and it's a beautiful building that was constructed in 1807. And in fact, it has a Gothic style architecture, which is not something that we would traditionally associate with the state capitol building.
Yeah.
In fact, it was one of the first buildings in all of America that was built in that architectural style. So it still does exist today, and people can go and explore that State House Square property. Since 1879, that property has been home to Georgia Military College, which is an excellent educational institution in our community.
So that's both prep school and college.
That's correct. Yes,
Right.
it is, as well as an ROTC program. They serve a lot of different functions.
Okay, now is the governor's mansion still here?
Yes, sir, it still is. So Georgia's Old Governor's Mansion is now owned as part of the property of Georgia College and State University, and they did a fabulous restoration of that property about 20 years ago, and they are a Smithsonian affiliate. It is a 24,000 square foot home, so it's quite extensive. And it's open today as a historic house museum, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Now, speaking of Georgia College and State University, you're a graduate of Georgia
Yes,
College and State
I am.
University, okay? But we also understand that you met someone important at Georgia College and State University just a few years ago.
The first day of college, they had a reception on the grounds of the governor's mansion for new students, and I met my wife.
I love it. That
Right,
is
so
the
it's a
sweetest.
cool story. A lot more to it than that, but it changed my life. Right, coming to Milledgeville. So if you're looking for a wife, come to Milledgeville.
Glad to have you back today. We love our Georgia College alum.
So
Talk-
yeah.
And speaking of Georgia College and State University and the other schools that are here, talk to us about the population of Milledgeville and then the population of these schools and how the population here fluctuates depending on if school's in session.
Sure. So Baldwin County has roughly 49,000 residents, but between our collegiate community, we have about 10,000 students.
Wow.
Milledgeville is really blessed because we have a lot of educational opportunities here. We are home to Georgia College and State University, Georgia Military College, and also Central Georgia Technical College. So that keeps our community feeling really young, really vibrant, because there are always these young people with great ideas, and I think it gives our community a really different feel than a lot of other destinations.
You know, they may have taken the capital out of Milledgeville and sent it to Atlanta, but now Milledgeville's getting all those students from Atlanta to come here to go
That's
to
right.
college. So
reversed.
it's a little reverse, right?
That's true.
Without the Atlanta traffic too.
Yes.
You know, thank goodness, right?
You used to live in Atlanta, didn't you?
I did. So I moved back to Milledgeville about 12 years ago, and I loved Atlanta while I was there, but I couldn't go back now. Spoiled.
So Rebecca, vein specialist is all about the family. One of the reasons that Dr. Harper is so passionate about vein work is because whenever men and women are able to feel their best, they're able to be more engaged with their family, and they're able to go on walks with their kids and invest in their children's lives. And so, coming from a family-centric space, what family opportunities does Milledgeville offer?
Oh, that's a great question. And as someone that has a young family, I feel like that really resonates with me as well. Milledgeville is home to a lot of really great opportunities, whether it's boating and tubing on Lake Sinclair, whether it's teaching a child to cast that first line and catch their first fish. We also have great spaces like the Oconee River Greenway here, which is where we personally taught our boys to bicycle ride. It has paved trails as well as walking nature paths. It has a lot of different opportunities. You know, one of our favorite things that we do each year around Shark Week is we take our boys to Georgia College and State University's Natural History Museum. They have a great casting of the megalodon jaws, and my children are always in wonder at all of those rows and rows of teeth. Makes them look at our beach trips a little bit differently.
That's right.
So another big thing in the history of Milledgeville was Central State Hospital. And I didn't realize there were still a lot of patients there, and it's still a big part of the community. Is that something that people can tour or learn about the history of that era?
Yes, they can, and people are very interested in that hospital and its history. If you don't know, Central State Hospital was once home to more than 13,000 patients. It was the largest mental health facility in the entire nation. And as it began closing in the 70s, of course, it meant job loss for this community, but it also meant that patients were reallocated elsewhere. Most people understand that, but they don't realize that there still are clients here today in Milledgeville and 1,000 employees that service that area. One of the things that our office has done is we've recognized that there is just such an intense amount of interest in this property. It was first opened in 1842, and many Georgia residents in some way may have had a family member that went there, may have heard rumor of the hospital, and they just want to understand a little bit more about it. So we collaborated with the hospital system to create a guided tour of it that we do via trolley. It's a 2-hour tour that we give by former employees of the hospital to just dive a little bit deeper into that history, which is sometimes really complicated and complex, but it is really fascinating, and we hope we do that in a really respectful manner.
Now, you were sharing earlier that one of the largest sectors of industry in Milledgeville and Baldwin County is still healthcare.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, it is. So we were just looking at census data and understanding who our major employers are here. And of course, like most communities, it's a very blended pie. We've got a little piece of all of it, but healthcare is still huge for us. We have our own hospital system here, but also we have a major employer called Barbara Cares, which offers patient care all over Middle Georgia, but the state as well. And then, of course, we have manufacturers here. One of the new ones that we're proud of is Smyrna Trucking Company, also known as Phelps Brothers, and they manufacture fire trucks.
Rebecca, we're here at Andalusia, which is the home of famed author Flannery O'Connor. Tell us a little bit about who Flannery O'Connor was and why this property matters to you guys.
Sure. So Flannery O'Connor is renowned as a Southern Gothic writer. She was known for writing short stories. She was born in Savannah and her childhood home was there, but she spent most of the later years of her life, including her college career, here in Milledgeville. And this is where she wrote the majority of her works. And her works are internationally renowned. So we're here at Andalusia today, which is her home, and it has been interpreted to the period of the 1950s when she would have lived here with her mother, Regina, and they took care of what was a 500+ acre farm. And visitors can come and tour this property. Part of it is self-guided, but part of it is guided as well, and just understand more about her works and also how her life was really impacted by lupus and how that kind of changed and lensed her view of.
And we're in a beautiful facility that just opened up recently. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes. So we're sitting here today inside the new Interpretive Center. This opened roughly a year ago, and the college, Georgia College and State University, own this site, and they've got great expansion plans for the future as well. So it's a great site to come and visit, but also to keep an eye on over the years as they continue to develop and enhance this space.
And for only $7? Is that right? That's
Yes,
oh,
that's right.
What a
Plus
deal.
tax.
Plus tax.
No.
Plus tax. That's right.
And kids are young, and kids are less.
Kids are like $2.
So
crazy.
don't quote us on that. It's worth it, whatever it is. So, but you also can go to the home site, which
Yes.
is back further on the property.
Yes, sir, you can. So you start here at the Interpretive Center. This is really their visitor center and check-in point. And then from this space, they'll take you via golf cart to the actual home itself, where you will embark on the guided portion of the tour.
Now, Andalusia was 500+ acres in its original heyday. It was massive. How much of that is actually left here today?
It is still 500 acres
Really?
today.
So this is a sprawling encampment here.
Yes, it is.
What does Andalusia mean? What's the definition of that? How'd they come up with that name?
Sure. So it's my understanding that the term Andalusia is actually Spanish, and a lot of times it seems to be associated with sorrel farms or horse farms. This farm was a family farm for Flannery's family. It was owned by the Klein family, and Flannery and her mother helped care for it on behalf of her uncle, Mr. Klein, and Mr. Klein was who named the farm Andalusia.
Now, I understand you have a favorite O'Connor
I do.
short story.
My
Tell us
my
what it is and why it's your favorite.
my personal favorite Flannery O'Connor short story is a story called "A Good Man is Hard to Find," because it's what my wife tells me whenever I forget to take out the trash. It says, "A good man's hard to find." Goodness.
So our viewers, I'm sure, all have their favorites.
Oh, I'm
So
sure. That's right.
When it goes up where you can stream it, maybe you can comment and share with everybody what's your favorite Flannery O'Connor.
That's right.
Now, I remember going to the library, and my wife and I, my girlfriend at the time, spent a lot of time in the library studying over there in the Flannery O'Connor library. So that was my first introduction to Flannery O'Connor.
Yes, well, that's a good one.
It's so cool though that those stories were written here, and there have been millions and millions and millions of copies sold of these books all around the world.
It really is, and it's really amazing and inspiring to see the visitation that still exists around Flannery and her work today. I think that, to us here in Milledgeville, she is our hometown girl, but it's amazing to see we have visitors from Turkey, Japan, Spain, all over the world that really look to her work and take inspiration from it.
One of our favorite interviews was at the Grand Opera House, and the patients and the viewers, were very fascinated about the stories of the ghosts of the Grand Opera House. I understand there may be some ghosts here in Milledgeville. And can you go on a ghost tour here? Have you ever been on one? And tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, gladly. A town that was founded in 1803 is bound to have some ghost stories associated with it, right? We do a ghost walking tour once a month here in Milledgeville, and it covers various stories. And I think one of the most famous stories is going to be the story of the Homestead House, which If you are one of the sorority girls that live in that house, you may want to turn the channel just for a moment. But that house is actually reputed to have 3 different ghosts that live in that house. And the most famous of those ghosts being a Welsh spirit that was brought over by the Williams family when they originally moved to the house in the 1800s. So that spirit is said to be a banshee, and she's said to scream outside of the house sometimes, as well as walk the space which would have formerly been their boxwood gardens.
So, did you
That's
go on a
intense.
tour recently?
I
You
did.
took your kids on a tour, and how old are they? 6 and 8 years old?
At 6 and 8, they did not have any nighttime terror, so that's a win.
They're able to sleep. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Right.
So it certainly is a family-friendly tour, but they enjoyed it and just learning a little bit more.
How do you
about our
book that
community.
tour?
You can book that tour. You can find that information for that tour at visitmilledgeville.com, and you can book it directly by calling the phone number for Visit Milledgeville.
Okay, and there are other tours like for the college, for the Governor's Mansion, and what other things might people access through your site there?
Yes, sir. So we have a wide variety of tours here in Milledgeville. We have 3 different trolley tours that we do. We have 2 different walking tours that are done. And then we have 4 different historic home properties that are open and available for tours on a regular basis. So people, if you are interested in tours, people have a lot of different variety and options when they come to town.
All right, so Rebecca, I want to pose a question for you. Say it's Friday night, you're going out with the family, you're going to go eat somewhere and find something for entertainment afterwards. Where are you going to eat and what are you doing afterwards?
Well, that's hard. That's like asking me to choose a favorite child. But what our family likes to do is each month our community hosts a First Friday, which usually is some type of entertainment event produced by our Main Street program. So we always make sure that we save the date for those First Fridays, and we come downtown to Milledgeville. It's usually really vibrant. There are usually a couple of thousand people out just enjoying the evening. And we have a variety of restaurants that are kind of our family go-tos. One of those is The Brick. It's our most iconic restaurant here in Milledgeville. They serve brick oven pizza, which of course is a favorite with the kiddos. But they also have great wings, sandwiches, and salads.
In the calzone.
Yes.
The brick
been
calzone. Oh my goodness. It's incredible. I might go after this to the
Yeah.
brick. Go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. We also are really fortunate because we have a lot of international dining in Milledgeville. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more laid back, evening out, Bollywood Tacos is great. We also have a great Greek restaurant called Metropolis, which is actually in the process of moving to a bigger location and is going to have a great extended outdoor patio dining space. And then one of our favorite restaurants that's not in the downtown is actually Kai Tai, and that's Thai cuisine, and it is delicious. They do a phenomenal job there.
So what's happening with the historic downtown area as far as revitalization, new things moving in?
Yes, they are. We're excited. So, because we are a college town, our downtown is already quite vibrant. We have more than 18 locally owned restaurants just in the downtown corridor. But we are really excited. Metropolis is moving to a new and expanded space, but we also have an investor that is preparing to open a wine bar as well as a small microbrewery space. And we're really excited about what opportunities that's going to bring into the downtown community. And then we are always looking for people that have new creative ideas that are looking for empty spaces to come into the downtown.
All right, Rebecca, so it's springtime, and just because it's spring, I've got to go back to the fishing thing just for a second, okay? I've been putting in my boat in at Little River Park on Lake Sinclair, but I know there are a variety of other places that you can put your boat in at, and there's also some places that you can rent kayaks and rent pontoon boats. Can you talk to us about all of the options that the lake would offer to a family that might be interested?
Great question. So the lake actually used to be a pretty exclusive experience here in Milledgeville, and we've really seen over the last decade that it's become much more visitor friendly. So we have a variety of marinas, Anchors Marina, Sinclair Marina, that do boat rentals, which can get you out on the water if you don't actually own a boat. We also have a great outfitter called Oconee Outfitters, which will bring out a paddleboard, kayaks, canoes to you if you want to get out on the water and enjoy yourself in that capacity. And then for those that are looking to make it a little bit longer lake stay, we have more than 90 short-term vacation rentals in our community that allow people access to a long weekend getaway on the water, which we think is a great opportunity to really just enjoy your family in a relaxed setting.
So so you can come to Milledgeville, stay on the lake, eat great food, hang out downtown, rent a boat. That sounds incredible, right?
That's right.
I love it.
Absolutely. Now, you're the director or the leader for visitmilledgeville.com, right? And you came from Atlanta back here to take that position. You've been here, what, how many years?
6.
6 years. So tell us kind of what your day-to-day thing, the organization does day-to-day, and what your goals are moving forward.
Gladly. So Visit Milledgeville is what we call a destination management organization. And really that's our fancy way of saying that we are a marketing firm, but exclusive to Milledgeville. We work with hospitality partners, so everything from attractions to hotels to event venues, to promote them so that people will come in and spend time in Milledgeville, investing their tax dollars into our community to create tax relief for our own residents. And it is a fabulous job being able to just really sell a community that I love so much, that I believe in. And it is positive work. We get to help Milledgeville with its brand image all the time.
Now, did the culture change with COVID like it did in a lot of the smaller towns where people decided, I can just work from home? I don't have to live in Atlanta. I don't have to live in a big town. I can avoid the traffic. Did y'all see a lot of people who had homes here that decided to live here year round?
You are right. Yes, we did. One of the interesting things that we saw was we saw a huge surge of relocation in this community. Because we are a lake community, we saw a lot of people that lived out of state. Actually, we believe 70% of people that relocated here are from Florida. We saw a lot of people realize that they wanted to be somewhere a little smaller, a little bit more relaxed way of life, and they decided that living on the lake here was going to be the right fit for them. And as somebody that used to sit in rush hour every single day on my ride home, I can completely understand.
They're just sitting in the boat or sitting out on the dock, right?
That's right.
Thinking, why didn't I do this sooner? You know?
What people usually want to know, how's the internet access here?
We have rural broadband. We are good.
So if you want to work from home and have a great place to live, this is the place to be, right?
That's right. Yes.
This is the place to be. Rebecca, thanks so much. This was a great conversation about why everyone should come visit Milledgeville, Georgia, and check out all of the offerings that you guys have here. Thank you guys for tuning in this week as well and watching us. And stay tuned because you never know where me and Dr. Harper might show up next.